You feel me? You can't say that's not a bad bitch ride. I definitely was ready to pack it in for the night, but I did tell myself I need to cook this food. And I know tomorrow me will appreciate the fact that I took the time to actually think about the fact that I need some lunch. I got this oven at 385. It's already preheated. And I'm just gonna take this pile of oyster mushrooms and toss them in there. Now, they don't have any seasoning on them. They're just dry. But every now and then, I gotta make sure that I flip them. They're probably going to be in here until like 8:45, so it's 8:23, so I guess like 20 minutes or so. So something is telling me to do like a lemony, or excuse me, like a something with tahini in it. So right now I'm really just going where the wind is blowing right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And we shall see where this takes us. I got the tahini right beside me. I got these onions in the pan. I need to turn this down some. Once these have cooked down, I'm gonna toss in some garlic and the chickpeas. I also have chickpeas. So I also got chickpeas that are gonna go inside here. And I'm gonna be using coconut cream, tahini. Ooh. I got an old lemon right here. And seasonings, I'm not exactly sure just yet. We will cross that bridge when we get there, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. That's all that matters. One of these bouillon cubes and put it inside here too. So I'm wondering if I can make sense of what's going through my head right now. Um, some adobo seasoning. The thing about me when it comes to cooking, I'm so happy that I spent years upon years actually trying to figure out how to make food for myself. So what I'm trying to document right now is me being in the flow state. And I know y'all hear that, and people always talking about, oh, well, you got to make sure you're able to get to a flow state and this, that, and the third. And what being in a flow state means to me is that it's no longer Brandon that is at the stove cooking. You know, Brandon is sitting so far in the background that he's able to kind of just transmute the message that needs to get across. You know, Brandon just has the body necessary to perform whatever is necessary at the time. And it's when the soul takes over and starts giving you direction, you know? So I can, and to interject, there's no place for you to worry, you know? I'm not worried about what's happening in the oven. I'm not worried about what's happening on the stove because whatever is supposed to happen is what's happening already, you know? Not to say that there may not be a mishap or whatever, and you know, like things happen, but it's to a point where my soul isn't trying to fuck up the food that I'm making. You know what I'm saying? So as long as I can be relaxed enough for whatever the message is to come across, whatever the food is to be cooked, whatever needs to be done will get done, and it'll get done while I'm here at the stovetop. You get one of the biggest things is like to talk about worrying again. Like you don't have any reason to worry when you're cooking. You're not. I can just use the rest of this. You're not supposed to worry when you're cooking because that'll mess everything up. Um, like seriously, it'll mess everything up. You don't want to be there. You don't want to have um that that frequency of mental activity taking place in your mind, you know? And it's like at this point, I'm not thinking. There's no thinking taking place. It's all action. It's one thing after another, even if that means, you know, go check on this, go do that, rest for a bit, you know? It's all a part of the process, which allows me to do all the moving and shaking that I need to do without actually needing to worry, you know? Um, I'm at a point now where I can hold you can walk past it, you're fine. I'm at a point now where I can hold a conversation and cook all at the same time, whereas a few years ago I couldn't do that. It was like all of my focus has to be put into the pots and the pans and the ovens and the shrooms and the onions and yada 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 yada. Right. Those gonna sit in there for a bit longer. Just wait on it. It'll probably be a bit closer to like, bitch, not 9 o'clock. That's too late. Chickpea. And it was like when I first started cooking, it was kind of like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I don't need this and I don't need that, and I can just. It's just like no, like you don't know how to cook, you don't know what you're doing, and you got a whole lot to learn. Because then you get into a well, then I moved into a space where it was a lot of mental work that had to take place, you know, not knowing, I guess when I say mental place, like needing to learn how food is supposed to cook, needing to learn what goes with what. And then you get to a point where I had to get out of my own mind and get out of my own emotions, because all that was just making things even worse. You know what I'm saying? Because like I was like I spoke on beforehand, now there's this element of worrying that gets introduced. Oh my gosh, am I making these right? Well, it tasted bad last time, and yada 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 yada. And there was never a true focus on, you know what, I'm gonna make this food the best that I can, or I'm just gonna let, my soul kind of take over and guide me to whatever this is supposed to look like. I'm gonna turn this down low to just kind of simmer. Soon I'm gonna get the mushrooms inside here. Since they've already been in the oven, they're already cooking. Now they just need some actual flavor to go with them. And I'm gonna get some tomatoes cut up to go inside here. And that should be the only other thing that I need to do right now. And so a lot of my own personal cooking journey is like needing to sit down and realize why the food tastes like shit. You know? Like, and a lot of it came from, I'm sure I've said this before, but I kept trying to recreate all of the foods that, and when I say all of the foods that I ate, like I was constantly trying to recreate like patties, so burger patties or sausage patties and pasta. Now, granted, being able to recreate the pasta was the most frustrating thing for me. And it's why I can confidently tell people, like, hey, if you're looking for a sauce, you really don't need to buy all these things, because I've bought all the things to try and make a sauce. I've bought the yogurts, I've bought the milks, I've bought the creams, I've done the this and the that. And the whole thing was like, well, how can I make this so much more simple for myself, because everything just tasted so bad. And it kept seeming like I was on the verge of getting somewhere, but it just was not clicking. And relationship things that I had going on, and so on and so forth, where I felt like the two of us cooking in the kitchen, I didn't have a sense of control, over what was happening. It kept seeming like first I would be cooking and then I would be the person washing the dishes. And it was just like, well, no, I came in here to cook. How did I end up not at the stovetop anymore? Which really bothered me. And it's one of the things that I absolutely love about cooking is the fact that it allows me to cooking allows me to creatively exercise control, you know? So I'm not I'm not telling somebody what to do in like a harsh way or anything. It's simply like, I have control over what I'm eating. I have control over how long the food is cooking, what's being cooked. It's shit like that. And that makes me smile on the inside. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get these tomatoes thrown in here. I think I can set these to the side. Let's turn this back up. I kind of want to use this whole thing, but at the same time, I kind of don't, because it means I'm gonna need some more of that adobo seasoning, but I guess we're just gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna grab these mushrooms too. Sorry, my phone definitely died while I was doing this. That's it. You know, that's basically it. I think if anything, maybe some more of this Italian seasoning on it, some more herbs and herbs, greens, not oregano, not oregano, not that one. A little bit of salt, even though the seasoning that I'm using does have it in there. And that's it. This came out exactly how I thought it would. No shade. But a little cilantro never hurt. Let's go just use the rest of this. We just have to replace these. And yeah, that's it, man. You know. That's it. If you don't take anything from me talking, just take this one thing. Don't be in the kitchen freaking out. You have no reason to freak out. You have no reason to freak out because if you're freaking out, you ain't gonna do nothing but mess everything up anyways. And then it won't be the reason everything messed up won't be because of whatever you messed up in the first place. It'll be because you freaked out while it was messed up instead of trying to correct. You can't say this is not a bad bitch rap. What type of rap you got over there? A bad bitch rap. Because I know this is going to taste really good when it's cold too. For the simple fact that it has all this sauce that's on it. Bad bitch rap. That's all I hear when I look at this. Bad bitch rap. Who eats these raps? Bad bitches. And who doesn't eat these raps? Man bitches. I mean, no shade. Like, you see that? And I made this on a whim. Like, you can't say that's not a bad bitch. Listen, get into it. Get into it.